Hi there, it's Sarah from Inspire Tarot. Welcome to the channel. Let's see what message Spirit has for us today. So the Knight of Emotions is on a quest for love, for the highest love attainable. And of course that requires us to look at all our resistance. And I think this 5 inspiration card is great. And then it shows this woman in very many different states as she faces her resistance and learns to be assertive and not to work at cross purposes with herself. But we can see in the card that she's leveling up and moving up, which is a win. And the Page of Inspiration is all a card about that creative spark, about our potential and moving forwards. Whenever we feel excited and passionate about a new start, that we should go for it. The Page of Inspiration is definitely a yes from the universe to say go for it. And the Fool is just very open-minded and carefree, and will go towards anything at all, just knowing that we're provided for and that we're supported, and that when we have this powerful feeling that we want to follow something, then that's our cue from the universe to go for it, and to tell us that we'll be supported, and any resources we need will be brought to us, and we'll be guided towards different opportunities and people, or to take certain actions. And the Fool is all about that. It kind of shows this lady walking off a cliff, because she can see this light and she knows that she's held, and essentially we're in the world but not of it. So our physicality, even though it feels solidly real and as if the body matters, then we're kind of remembering that miracles can happen, and situations that we sometimes feel as if we're in, that feel solidly real and stuck, can just be, they just evaporate when we follow our bliss. I know in a course it says that the Spirit will rearrange space and time if we agree to be miracle workers and follow our highest excitement. So we should just go for it and see what happens. Death and Justice and the Hanged Muse. So the Death card is all about rebirth, and whenever we go towards a project or something that we're excited about, we're going to be challenged, but we're going to be led by our inspiration and our excitement. And it's always the opportunity to learn new things, but allow our self-concept to change and shift and grow. And the Death card resembles that change, of course, and that we'll need to let go of smaller, older parts of ourselves as whatever challenge or whatever situation we take on, will always be called to grow. So the Death card brings us to facing parts of ourselves. So we may feel inspired to do something in the public domain, or something that stretches us and makes us step outside of our comfort zone, and we'll feel uncomfortable because we'll kind of think, oh, I want to do that, but I don't feel comfortable with it. And then we'll be required to do the inner work to face the shadow, and the things, the stories in our mind that tell us that we can't do certain things, which again are just stories in the mind. And if we're comfortable feeling our feelings and facing our feelings, then we can break through them, because we're remembering that every time we feel upset or overwhelmed, it's just a temporary state caused by the beliefs and the thoughts in the mind, and that we can let them up and process them, and then we can free ourselves a little bit more. And we just do this process over and over, free ourselves. And this card is great because it shows this woman kind of struggling to change herself, and then this moth that comes out of the cocoon, and that's essentially what happens to us over and over. and we can trust the process and get used to it, and also almost get excited about the process, because really it's very transformative and we're moving in the right direction. And whenever we face ego, backlash, or any challenges, it's just an opportunity to be stronger. So yeah, with the Justice card, we know that God is merciful. Yeah, with the Justice card, we reap what we sow. It's all about natural law. And that we're always being helped and supported. And whenever we align with love, then life pans out well. And whenever we don't align with love, then we get a lesson and we're shown. So we're always being... This card kind of shows that we're always being reborn. The mind is always opening up and expanding. And that's a good thing. We're always able to refine what morality means. You know, quite often in this world we think that morality means that one person is right and the other person is wrong. Except nobody ever agrees on who's right and who's wrong, because we know from the teachings of A Course in Miracles that nothing means anything. And in duality there is no right and wrong, because God didn't create duality. So it can't be right or wrong, because it's inherently wrong, because only unity is right. And yeah, we're kind of guided back to that knowing. So the way the natural laws work, divine justice is always taking place, because unless we are aligned with love, then we're going to be shown where we're out of alignment by not feeling good. So, and we're all subject to this. I was talking to someone the other day about them, you know, they felt mistreated as a child and they didn't have any power and blah blah blah, and I kind of explained that yes, we do all feel that way, but the powers and the laws of the universe don't just switch on when we're 18. We're not powerless until the day we're 18, and then they switch on and we're then expected to be in our power. We were always in our power, even when we were born, because we were never actually a child in truth. We were the spirit that was dreaming. And we always had that responsibility to see everything as love or a call for love. And I think we can heal to the extent that we can accept that responsibility and accept that, knowing that we are the power and that we were always creating the things we didn't want. And yeah, there's a part of us that doesn't want to accept that and wants it to be somebody else's fault. But then at the same time, we can't take our power back if it's somebody else's fault. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we do need to look at on our spiritual path, where we give our power away, and that we forget that we are the spirit and that we have all this power because we've chosen to be this small mere mortal. And the shift on the journey from seeming to be a human self to stepping into our magnitude and our light as the Son of God is a process. And we have to go through the guilt and the darkness and understand that everything that we've ever believed about ourselves is wrong. And we need to go through this process with grace. With the Hanged Muse card or the Hangman card, we are expected to see things from a radically different perspective, which is shown in this card, which depicts us being kind of hung upside down. And we know that from the Course that we see everything. We need to flip the mind right side up, because our ideas about what's going on are backwards and upside down. And duality is just fundamentally unresolvable. We have to transcend that paradox and go towards unity. And we're always being given opportunities to learn this over and over in the physical form. So yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting. So the Emperor is about masculine energy. It's the doing energy, getting things done, feeling very empowered. Emperor energy is very secure and very influential and just very comfortable being a leader or leading. You know, the Emperor feels very knowledgeable and is comfortable just taking the lead and coming from a very principled but caring place. we all have this power within us. We just have to practice it and step into it bit by bit. So the Ace of Inspiration, the Four of Inspiration, and the Star. Get one more out. So the Ace of Inspiration, or the Ace of Wands card, is, we can see in this card that this person is just feeling very inspired. They're having lots of ideas. All these rainbows coming out of the mind kind of shows us that we're feeling very creative and very inspired. And that we have a great potential when we pull all our skills together with the Magician. The Magician shows us that the power is within us, and we can see the mirroring in the Ace of Inspiration and the Magician card, that this is kind of depicted by this rainbow coming out of the head, and the head is where we think the mind is. Obviously the mind is everywhere, it's not really in the head, but symbolically the mind is where the power is. The mind is what creates everything and brings everything into force. Our body doesn't move without our mind telling the body what to do. And the mind is unbelievably powerful. We don't really grasp the power of the mind, but we're constantly stepping into and understanding the power of the mind, and how we can use it in lots of very inspiring ways. So the Four of Inspiration is a card about using that inspiration within a group. And we can see here that this group of people, they're kind of joined together, but they're also very linked to the divine, as we can see from these lines going up, which is kind of symbolic of us being connected to the divine, and then we're all linked together. And we're very powerful when we come together and we get to celebrate and join, and we feel that feeling of unity, which is what we want. So yeah, we get to enjoy collaborating. Collaborating feels very good, and we get to create abundance when we're together. Material abundance, energetic abundance. And the Star card is all about healing and stepping more into trust. And we know from the Course that stepping into trust, it says that the 6 stages in the development of trust, and that 4 of them are challenging. So we need to really get used to enjoying these challenges and taking them on as if they're fun, because if we don't see it that way, then it just feels like struggle. Whereas the more we go through difficult challenges, the more that we know that we're just acing our spiritual journey. And this is how we want to see ourselves. We want to see ourselves as the star. We want to see everybody as the star, in that we're all one big happy family doing the inner work to heal and work together. And yeah, if we want to be the star in our own right, then we'll just feel small, or we'll always be being knocked back. But the Spirit will use this to help us. So yeah, the Star card is very much a card of optimism and healing and growth, and just showing us that we're very much aligned with our destiny. And the Magician is a symbol of our power, our creative power, and that we can use it for good. We can use it to my cat's chattering at the birds. So yeah, with the Magician card, we can create absolutely anything. We can create peace on earth. We can create physical things with resources. Our whole life is essentially a work of art. So one of the ways I like to do it is to bring love and ideas to everything I do. And if somebody's thinking something negative, then get them to see it from a different perspective. Create something physical that other people enjoy, that inspires other people to create and be themselves and extend in a way. Because when we're doing what lights us up, it doesn't really matter what the outcome is, because we're really doing it for the joy. So if we feel joy whilst we're creating, then that's all that matters. The ego will always tend to want us to think that it's about attaining something in a form, but it's only ever about being in the joy. That is the attainment. And we need to remember this over and over and keep coming back to that remembrance that we're the alchemist and we're here to break through our barriers, break through the ceiling, as it were, and keep expanding and lifting higher and higher. And our healing is not linear, and the changes that happen within us, they affect all different areas of our life. And we can't really understand it from our human perspective. All we can do is submit ourselves to the process and just go for it and enjoy the ride, and just surrender as much as possible and understand that everything that's happening is happening for our good. Right, I enjoyed that reading today. I hope you did too. I love you all. Bye.